Hi, my name is David P. Shapiro. I'm the owner and managing partner of the law office of David P. Shapiro, located in San Diego, California, where my firm helps good people when charged with a crime. In this video, I want to talk to you about the one main decision or the one main factor people should be considering when hiring a criminal defense law firm to represent them or a loved one in their time of need. And the one real mindset tweak or the one real decision you should be thinking about is to view this decision to hire a criminal defense law firm as an investment, not just in the results or the short-term results of the criminal case or the criminal accusations made against you, but as an investment in your future. A lot of times what will happen is someone will come in and they'll say, wow, that's a lot of money. And, okay, so-and-so down the street will do it for a little bit less. I think I'm just going to go with that. I like your firm better, but, that extra $2,000 or $1,500 or whatnot is a big important difference. And we certainly understand that. Anyone, ourselves included in many instances, can't come up with the type of money that it takes to have top-end criminal defense representation on serious felony charges, within a day, within a couple of days, even in many instances. But what the key thing is, whether a potential client's considering hiring our firm or not, is to view it as a long-term investment in their future. So let's break something down for a second. Let's say, for example, there's a felony case against you, and law firm A is charging $15,000, law firm B is charging $12,000, law firm C is charging $5,500, right? Well, of the three, right? Why is law firm C charging $5,500? Maybe you've gone through a case evaluation with an attorney or a representative from their firm. You're already sour on that firm. You're concerned about how cheap they are compared to what appears to be the going rate for quality representation for your case. So option C is out. And then you're like looking at it and say, wow, I could save $3,000 between paying one firm $15,000, paying another firm $12,000. I think I'm just going to do that, even though I like the more expensive firm will best protect my future and get me a better outcome potentially than the middle of the pack firm as it goes to rates. Well, think about it, right? Short term, yeah, it makes sense if you think all else are equal to save a couple of $1,000s. If you're equally as comfortable with firm A and firm B, sure, go with the less expensive option. But what if you're in a situation where you like the more expensive firm, but you're really struggling to come up with how you're going to come up with that additional $3,000 difference maybe between the price? Well, look at it just from a long-term investment situation. Let's assume the outcome of this case will determine your short-term, but also your long-term earnings obligations and your long-term earnings potential. Let's say you have a professional license. Let's say you're going to lose your job if you have to spend some time in custody, or if you have some alternative to custody if you were to be convicted. How is that going to affect it? And isn't it worth it to spend that extra money on the front end to potentially save thousands, if not tenfold, of charges and financial burdens? Haven't done anything and everything possible to ensure the best outcome in your case. And that's what this purpose of this video is for, just to make you think about big picture stuff, long-term stuff, and to view it like any financial decision as an investment, not just in your short-term future, but in your long-term future as it relates to a job, as it relates to your earning potential, as it relates to your relationship and the dynamic with your family, as it relates to the type of house you may potentially live in, as it relates to the type of car you may drive, as it relates to your overall sense of happiness moving forward. So I think when you look at it that way and you have this exercise where you break it down, what you could lose, a lot of times people come to the decision when they think about it that way, hey, you know what? I'm going to find a way to make it work with the firm that I believe will get me the best outcome or maximize my chance at success. And, the purpose of this video is not necessarily to steer you one way or the other. It's just to get you thinking about an important factor. And then you ultimately need to make that decision, or your loved ones, with their help, need to make that decision as to which firm is best for your type of case, especially in a criminal defense case where your future, your freedom is really at stake, far more arguably than in other types of cases. What's the best investment in the future? Which law firm has the strongest track record, has the most depth of attorneys, and a real team to support you or your loved one in their time of need? So hope this video has been helpful. Again, to summarize it, really one main factor. Someone could say, hey, what's a one thing you could tell a family of a loved one or someone facing criminal charges, when they're trying to come up with money to hire a law firm, is to view it as an investment. And when you do that, it really shifts the focus back on where it should be, which is what type of relationship do you think you'll have with that law firm? What type of results do you think that law firm will be able to get you? And what do they have in their track record to that way? A couple of $1,000s, you might be able to make up tenfold. Good, if not better of an outcome with some instances the more expensive firm. So factor in moving forward, when you look at an investment, you'll be surprised. If you really want something, you'll find a way to make it work. Certainly, as it relates to criminal defense in San Diego, my firm's just one phone call away, and we can always be reached at 619-295-3555, 619-295-3555. Again, David Shapiro, San Diego criminal lawyer.